or no, not emails, but what else is it?
Texts?
No. Forget it. Anyway, I get it from Norway.
Yeah.
And they're talking about the snow and the cold and so forth.
Yeah.
And I say, well, all right, we have 86 degrees and
right, I know. Had rain. I know, it's not right.
Yeah, no, it isn't. No.
Yeah, it's supposed to be winter. We're supposed to have rain. But anyhow, it's beautiful.
Yes.
And we're the Motor Mouse, so we are a live call-in car talk show. And the way that works is we invite you to call us. We don't have your number, but we're going to give you our number because we want you to call us. And that is 543-8830. That's 543-8830. We're going to talk about one of our favorite shows today, which is Pet Peeves. So what is it out there that annoys you about other drivers, or that you'd like to see people change their driving habits, or that makes it a little unsafe out there, or that you'd like to see people improve on? So we call it Pet Peeves, things that we've talked about, like things that we harp on all the time, like turn signals.
Let's bring up one more item, Pet Peeves.
Pet Peeves.
What do you got a pet peeves about automotive repair?
Yeah.
Facilities, either dealerships or independent garages.
Okay.
What is it about them you don't like?
Yeah, what would you like us to change or get better at?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Without you telling us what we have to do to make it better, we wouldn't be able to know.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So pet peeves out there for, whether it be aggressive drivers or people in a hurry or all of that. So, and if you're the first caller at 543-8830 to the Motor Mouse, then you'll win a premium. So like to have some calls here in the first half hour. We tend to get quite a few calls at the end of the show, and we don't have time to talk to you. So we invite you to call 543-8830. So what about you guys? What's your most recent pet peeve for drivers out there on the road, or traffic, or whatever?
Well, I don't know whether it is a pet peeve, but yesterday I was just happened to, I live in Perfumer Canyon. Mm-hmm. So right there where my entrance to my place is it's a curb. Mm-hmm. And as I was walking across, I didn't hear no cars. I was walking across, didn't see any cars. But here comes the bicyclist. Yeah. And there's a speed limit.
And they're coming downhill.
They're coming downhill.
They're going fast.
Yes. Yeah. I told him as he went by 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, I said, you're speeding.
But his speed was so high that no way he could stop by the time he saw me to where I was. And I think that is dangerous. That if you can't stop in the distance you can see, then that's bad.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Coming downhill like that, going too fast, is when you really hurt yourself bad or hurt somebody else. So it's true.
No, he would have to lay it down. That's for sure.
And how was the visibility? Was it still dark?
No, it was light in the middle of the day.
Oh, okay.
The middle of the afternoon.
Well, one of mine is like driving south on 101, because I live in the South County, and you have a lot of those third lanes down there. Mm-hmm. So like at 4th Street and Spyglass and Oak Park, and people that will be against the wall in the number one lane.
So they're coming on,
and then they just they'll be driving. Yeah, and all of a sudden they realize, it's Oak Park, and I have to get off here. Okay, so they'll cut across all the lanes of traffic to get off. Yeah, and instead of just going to the next exit. Yep. Getting off, getting back on, and coming back. Mm-hmm. I mean, it takes you another minute.
There's a few dangerous moves, and that's one of them. Cutting across two lanes like that.
Right.
Is that illegal?
I think so.
That's illegal to the point that it's dangerous driving.
Yeah.
Right. You think?
Well, you had a lot of accidents right down where you take off to go to Avila Beach. Yeah. Avila Beach Drive,
same kind of thing.
And they're coming there at 65 miles an hour, and the guy across. Then on the left-hand lane, I had to get off here.
I have to get off here.
Yeah.
There's another exit.
Yeah.
A mile down the road that you could, get off and come back on.
I've seen And there have been a lot of accidents right there because people have been doing that, trying to beat the guy in the right-hand lane.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just things like that, you know.
But, the bitches I can say is people not using directional signals and don't using their headlights. And
I can't believe the number of people that don't use their turn signals. It's just...
I saw one yesterday.
That's my pet peeve.
Yeah,
every day.
Yeah, we were going out to breakfast yesterday and waiting for this guy to come up the road. He was too close to go, across the road. And then he turns next to us in the road that we're coming off of. Mm-hmm. And he's coming on the right side.
He turned from the left lane.
Yeah. Well, he turned from the right-hand side, and so we could have turned left and gone.
Yeah.
Well,
but he turned to go up this road that we were coming off of. He could have used his flasher so that we could have known.
Sure.
Hey, I'm going to turn where you're coming out of, so go ahead and go.
Yep. It's what I see people doing is when they realize someone's looking, they turn their turn signals on at the last minute, think, oh yeah, maybe I should. And really, you're supposed to use your turn signals at every turn, and you're supposed to put them on, 100 feet before the turn. So it doesn't matter whether there's someone there or not.
No. I mean,
whether there's anybody there or not, use your turn signal.
The thing is that the reason you turn it on is to tell the other people on the road.
Yeah, and you don't know whether there's going to be somebody there, so you don't wait to see whether there's somebody there. You turn it on anyhow.
Yep.
And so, and it's really annoying as, once again, I know you see a lot of bicyclists that don't use your turn signals. I use my hand signals.
Yeah, right.
And so, and that's something that I'd like to see a lot of bicyclists do too, because that's really, you're supposed to be a vehicle. But as a bicyclist, it sure is helpful. Two things. Number one, when people use their turn signals, then you know what they're doing. Yeah. And then, once again, it's if people are driving the speed. So I'm coming out of my driveway on Johnson, and I'm looking both ways, and I'm assuming that people are driving the speed limit.
Yes.
Because I have to gauge how much time it is, especially on a bicyclist. I'm pulling out from a stop. I'm not going to go that fast, right? So if people are going, it's 35 on Johnson. If they're going 55 and I try to go out and they're way down, it's dangerous.
Oh, sure.
So, it's once again, another reason to be driving the speed limit is, for those reasons. So let's talk to Craig from Los Osos. Hi, Craig.
Wow, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for calling.
About pet peeves.
Yes, please, bring it on.
Yeah, I got a few. I've been an avid motorcyclist all my life. And people that drive around with a dog in their lap.
Oh, yeah.
Or talking on a phone.
Or
texting, and the car is going right to left, and you're worried you're behind one. You ought to see what it feels like when you get one behind you, and they're doing that. They don't realize that 60 miles an hour, they're going to travel 88 feet, and no one's driving the car.
Almost a football field.
And I've seen it'd be 5 years ago this fall, I was with a group of motorcyclists going down to San Diego. And I didn't happen to be with these guys. I came up behind this huge accident, and there was 4 of these guys on motorcycles, and they had been killed. And there was a young lady in 20s, and she stood there, and she was crying that she was only making a phone call.
Only.
Now, is that phone call that important?
No.
Oh,
or
yes. Oh, you have to answer the phone.
Say, well, little Poodle likes to go for rides.
Yep.
Come on now. It's ridiculous what these people do out there. And you
realize as a motorcyclist or as a bicyclist that you're really vulnerable. When, getting hit in a car, maybe you dent your car or, but it's life-threatening on a motorcycle or on a bicyclist. And
yes, it is.
And so you really
they don't even know what stop signs or stoplights are. They just go roaring through them.
Well, once again, let's not generalize. I have many bicyclists in our club that we obey the rules. But yes, there's a lot out there that don't. Just like drivers.
Or riding abreast, two side by side.
Absolutely.
I think I learned that from the motorcyclists.
No, we don't do that in the group I travel with.
Right, exactly. So that's why we can't generalize about it. Yes.
All right. Yeah. Well, good morning. I enjoy your show.
Craig, we appreciate your call very much.
Thank
you. Thank you. Good day to you. From Craig and Slow, let's go to Sue in Cambria. Hi, Sue.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much.
Thanks for calling. What would you like to talk about today?
Well, I drive the 46 a lot between Cambria and the 101. Mm-hmm. And my pet peeve, are you there?
Yes, we're listening.
Yes. My pet peeve is people who cross over the double yellow line.
You mean to pass?
Pass, yes.
Yeah.
And, that double yellow line, it's really the law that you don't pass. It's there for a reason. Usually it's a visibility thing or it's there's a good reason. And to me, I follow that rule very carefully. And it even surprises me when people come whizzing by because I think this is a double yellow line. I'm not really expecting them to come whizzing by on my left side. And then, what often happens there is the trucks pull over partway thinking that they're letting you pass. Mm-hmm. And they're being very kind, but if I have to pass and cross over the yellow line, I still won't do it, really, because I realize the visibility isn't good. So that's my pet peeve. I don't think
it's a good one.
Cross over that double yellow line.
It's a good one. It's life-threatening. And, we've seen on 46, whether it be in that area or the other 46 going to Fresno and Bakersfield, how many accidents have happened from people doing that and life-threatening things. And so, once again, being in I always say that the most dangerous drivers are the one that are in a hurry for one reason or another. Why they're in a hurry, I don't know, but they think they're in a hurry. And they got to make a life-threatening move to get ahead of you, and then they end up at the stop.
When we hit that new stop sign, now they're always just still in front.
Right in front of you. Yes,
haven't gained any time.
Yeah, put it in perspective.
Yeah. Well, good. I enjoy your show, and that's just drive safely and obey those rules. They're there for a reason.
Thank you, Sue. We really appreciate your phone call. Thank you. Have a good one.
One thing I noticed actually. Last weekend too, and it's a kind of a pet peeve, but it's not a real. We don't have a whole lot of highways around here anymore that have turnouts, but there's some turnouts on 46 over to Bakersfield. There's also some turnouts on 154 down to Santa Barbara, and those turnouts are there for vehicles that are not going so fast, that are wanting to stay under the speed limit or just can't make the speed limit or whatever. And people that are driving not the flow of traffic are supposed to use them.
Yeah.
And they don't.
Okay, now tell me.
They don't.
You remember the rule there?
They're supposed to pull over and let people by.
Well, wait a second now. There's a rule about that.
Okay.
You pull over if you have 3 cars behind you.
Well, no.
More than 3 cars behind you, or 3 cars aboard.
Is that the rule of thumb?
That's the rule of thumb. I mean, if you got 3 cars
behind you, then you should let them
pull
pass.
over.
Well, these signs just say slower traffic use turnouts.
Yeah, I know when I was driving my motorhome, I did that all the time.
Yeah.
Because we're driving just
slow.
The
the people behind you.
But I mean, this of course it goes back, and I drove in Vermont, which is all narrow 2-lane roads with turnouts, and the rule was 3 cars behind you, pull over.
That's a good one. I never heard that.
And maybe Craig, our first caller, can make a comment on this if he wants to call back. But another one is kind of using the lane splitting with motorcycles. Whether this illegal or not, I don't like it. Yeah. Because as a driver in a car, I don't always see the motorcycle.
It's pretty gnarly when they come whizzing in between 2 cars.
Right.
Yeah. But the thing is, they also have a speed limit. I think it's 15 miles an hour faster. That's all. Yeah. If they can go 15 miles an hour faster than you are. Yeah. If they split the lanes, if they go faster than that past you, that's against the law.
Because I don't always see them. I might be stopped
there. No, you don't.
Yeah. Right.
By the way, Craig was the first caller, and I forgot to tell him that if he stops by Continental Motorworks, he won a prize for being the first caller. So, Craig, if you're still listening, we hope you are. Stop by Continental Motorworks, and we'll give you something for being the first caller. Thank you. And so far, we're talking a little bit about pet peeves. We're the Motor Mouth Show, Matt and Jeff. We're going to go to our first break of the day, but we want to tell you that you can call us for any reason that you would like to talk about cars. We're talking about pet peeves today. Really, what if you're having a problem or a warning light or a funny noise or anything, relationship issue regarding your car, we'll put you on the Motor Mouth couch. So call your Motor Mouth at 543-8830. We'll be back.
This commercial is so retro 1960s. It's just funny, actually. It's a 1960s Pontiac GTO commercial. Actually, it's from 1966. I think people are going to think it's kind of a kick in the pants.
The Tiger scores again. Pontiac GTO for 66. 6.5 liters of young Tiger. All nimble. All agile. All wide track. Don't let the bucket seats and sumptuous interior fool you. In the action department, the 66 GTO beefs up to 360 horsepower. It's all nimble, all Tiger, all wide track. Pontiac GTO for 66. See it in captivity at your Pontiac dealer. Everything's new in Tiger country.
Hi, this is Jeff Spevack, Motormouth co-host and owner of Continental Motorworks. What can you expect here at Continental? We will treat you and your car with care and respect and gratitude. We will bend over backwards to earn your trust. You will fully understand what we are doing on your car and know how much it will cost before we do the work. You will always get value, a fair exchange. You work hard for your money. We believe we should work smarter and harder for what you pay us for. Now in our 36th year, we fix it all. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and hybrids.
Call Jeff at Continental Motorworks at 541-1464. Mention this ad and receive 10% off labor.
When it's time to service your car,
or a warning light is starting to glow,
go see the pros at Absolute Auto.
At the corner of Sacramento and Capitolio.
Having a problem with the brakes or the steering down below?
Or an alignment to adjust the tow?
Computer systems, they do know.
Call 543-8737 to reach Absolute Auto.
Here's some inside information to get your gas mileage back. Inside your engine, carbon builds up, clogging the injectors and combustion area. If you want your fuel system cleaned in just one tank of fuel, use what the inside car guys use most. It's called BG44K. In fact, service managers use it almost 3-to-1 over any other fuel system cleaner. To find a shop with BG products, go to bgfindashop.com. That's bgfindashop.com.
BG. 3 deuces and a 4-speed and a 389. Listen to her tacking up now. Listen to her whine. Come on and turn it on, wind it up, blow it out, GTO.
And we're back. Okay, we're the Motor Mouse. We're Matt and Jeff. We're here till 9 a.m. to talk with you about your car. The way that works is you call us at 543-8830. We're doing the Pet Peeve Show. So what's bugging you about people driving on the road? You know, let's get it out there. Give us a call, 543-8830. Let's talk to James in Los Osos. Hi, James. Thanks for holding.
Hi, yeah, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. My peeve is coming down the freeway all the time. People come off an on-ramp coming onto the freeway, and half the time they don't even look, and they just assume that they've got the right-of-way. My understanding, and I looked it up at DMV when I was down there, is the car on the freeway has the right-of-way.
Correct.
They need to let you go by, right? And then, boy, if you are even near them, they give you this dirty look like they have the right of way and they don't understand they don't.
I think it's one of the big misunderstandings out there because I think people and you are correct, by the way. We had DMV officer, I'm sorry, I forgot his name, on, and he said yes, It's the responsibility of the person coming on the on-ramp to merge into traffic.
Right. Well, half the time they don't even look. They just assume that they have the right of way.
Yeah, so
I've almost been hit a couple times.
I mean, it is nice if I'm on the freeway and I have the other lane and it's going to be close, I move over. But,
I do too.
But it's not it is their responsibility to merge in properly. And it can be difficult. The ones that are difficult are those real short on-ramps in San Luis. When you're coming on,
a lot of
like
short
Santa Rosa on-ramp and Broad Street on-ramp, and those, you don't have any. I mean, you can't get you can't get to the flow of traffic, and so there was somebody, high school students killed last year, I believe, and it's a tough one. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, James.
Is most of the time they don't even look. That's what scares me.
It is. It's a really, once again, these are kind of like the rules of the road that people need to learn, and that's why probably more people should take, or maybe be even required to take a driving class every 5 years, or at least an online written test where to get your license again, where they kind of go over little questions like that. And that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Well, I think DMV ought to put a thing on it, the 10 most misunderstood rules.
Absolutely.
And have people read those so that they know, hey, no, I can't do that.
I think that's a great idea. Those signs that we see, they say, instead of, they say buzzed driving is drunk driving. They have those on those billboards, those electronic billboards. Be nice to have those rotate with like some common sense advice for drivers, that they would rotate every month.
Been talking about,
every month put a different one up there.
Save a lot of lives.
Absolutely. Yours is a good one, James. We've talked about it on the show before, and it is a life-threatening thing. It's an important one.
Good. Well, I enjoy your show very much. Thank you.
Anything else to add, James?
Nope. That'll do it.
We really appreciate your call. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Too, bye.
So, James talks about people coming on the on-ramp and not merging in properly. It is the person that's coming on in the on-ramp. It's their responsibility to merge into traffic. Let's go to Carolyn in Morro Bay. Hi, Carolyn. Thanks for calling.
Oh, good morning. How are you?
We're great. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Hey, well, there's one thing that just really gets to me. And it's mostly, not always, but it's mostly on Highway 1, between any direction from San Simeon all the way into the city of San Luis. Mm-hmm. Tailgating. Yeah. Tailgating is just awful. I don't know if these people are late for school or late for what, but I had one the other day that was so close to the back of my PT Cruiser. Mm-hmm. It was a GMC truck. Mm-hmm. I couldn't even see the grill or the license plate on it. That's how close it was.
Yeah, there's a lot of unsafe driving out there. That was the number one when we had our DMV when we had our highway patrol officer on. We should have him on again. That was his number one thing. Now we asked him. What was the number one thing that you see people doing out there that's a problem, and he said tailgating. That was his number one thing.
Well, that's good to know because they'll watch.
So they are enforcing that now. They're starting to pull people over for that. But you're right. People are in a hurry, and people don't know. We always say, I've talked about it for years on the show, the 3-second rule, and so I'll say it again. And it's hard to do because it creates quite a bit of space between you and the car in front of you, and it's great. But you count. You mark, from the car in front of you, you mark a road marker that the back of their car is at, and then you count 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000 till when you get to that spot. So you create 3 1,000s. And then I talked to Mike, who's my brother-in-law who trains truck drivers, and he likes them to do 4 1,000s. He likes them to do 4 seconds behind the car. And so that's the way he teaches it. He says that's even safer, which obviously it is.
Well, of course, on a truck, he couldn't stop quite as fast.
Yeah.
And I kind of like to point out, too, it's kind of like along with lines with the tailgating. When you are at a stop, at a traffic light or a stop sign, you're supposed to be able to see the tires of the car in front of you, the back tires.
I leave enough room so that I can pull out in case that person stalls,
same thing here.
Or in case something happens, or in case somebody hits you and you don't hit into them. Yeah. You leave. I was taught in a driver's training class, leave enough room. Always leave yourself an out was what.
Yes, leave yourself an out.
There you go.
So that's a good way to put it. No matter how you're driving, especially if you're driving on Highway 1, where you don't have another lane there. It's hard. You should always be thinking, what would I do if? What would I do if this person came into my lane? What would I do if that person slammed on their brakes? What would be your strategy for getting out of that? But you're absolutely right, Carolyn, the tailgating. So I guess the rules of the road to alert the person behind you that's tailgating is you tap your brakes twice, right?
Yeah.
And you're supposed to, that should be alerting them, hey, you're too close for my comfort, or you're too close. And so hopefully that sends them a message and they do something about it. But it's unsafe. Let's face it.
Dangerous, plain dangerous.
Yeah. So there's where I always say to myself, "Where's the highway patrolman when you need him?" In that case, when you have someone like that driving unsafe.
I was going down to Santa Maria one day, and it was a Dodge truck coming up behind me, and he was tailgating.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about stepping on the light.
Yeah.
But then as he passed me, I saw he was one of the highway patrol commercial men.
Oh, he was. Okay, so he was. Yeah, but still,
But I was doing about 67 miles an hour, and he was really tailgating.
Yeah, they do it.
And it's it's hard to concentrate and be a safe driver when you've got somebody just bearing down on you like that, because you're paying too much attention to them.
Yeah.
And then it distracts you.
Yeah, right.
So it's really annoying. Well, thank you, Carolyn. Anything else you'd like to add?
Not right now, thank you.
We appreciate your phone call. Thanks for calling the Motor Mouse and putting in your 2 cents. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good weekend. From Carolyn, let's go to Diane in SLO. Hi, Diane.
Hi, how are you today?
We are good. How you doing?
Fine, thank you. I have a pet peeve, and I think it's a dangerous situation. It's with bicyclists.
Mm-hmm.
When I see them in the left-hand turn lane, I think it's a very dangerous place for a bicyclist to be. What I would like to see is them crossing over the streets as a pedestrian does in a crosswalk.
Well, so that's not the law, though. The law is that a bicyclist is a vehicle.
Oh, I understand.
So, in other words, if you're a bicyclist and you're coming up to make a turn, then you signal and you get in the middle of each lane, and then you move into the middle of the turn lane and take the lane.
I understand, and I know it's not against the law, but I still feel it's a very dangerous situation for a bicyclist to be in. Because cars aren't respecting them, or? Well, they're very vulnerable. Yeah, it's true. They're extremely, and it's an extremely vulnerable position to be in. Yeah. So as a bicyclist, I try to avoid those intersections that are like that. Like, for instance, a good example would be Los Osos Valley Road in Madonna. Absolutely. Where I don't want to be in that turn lane. I don't want to be in the middle of 50 cars around me that are bearing down on me. So in other words, what I do instead is I take Royal Way. Or I take one of the, I take a left on Ocean Air and I go through the neighborhood. I just avoid that intersection completely. And so as a bicyclist, I think a lot of bicyclists do that. And I agree with you, Diane. You are very vulnerable there. It's a really lousy situation. There's so many intersections like that. Broad and South Street. Yeah, Broad and South is a good example. Tank Farm. Yeah. So it's a lesson for both, though. There's going to be more and more bicyclists. And I think it's a learning curve for both bicyclists to learn how to ride properly and signal and be visible, and for cars to be 3 seconds behind that bicyclist. I think I've heard some one of these in the big cities like San Francisco. They have bicyclists that delivers merchandise and well, those guys are crazy. Those guys don't always obey the law. Well, they always make right turns. They don't make left turns. They always go around the block. Yeah, so smart. Yeah, and because they know the let's face it, the vulnerability. Even as a driver, the left turn is probably the hardest thing in traffic.
Left turn in traffic is, especially with no light or no signal, is one of the hardest things that you do as a driver because you got a lot of judgment, distance judgment, and speed judgment.
Then you have the people that turns left on red light.
Yeah, there's another pet peeve. Well, Diane, you bring up a really good point. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, actually, I grew up on the East Coast, and when I was growing up, we were taught to ride facing traffic.
Yeah.
Bicyclists rode facing traffic, not with traffic.
Yeah.
Which I feel is so much safer because, so number one, the cars can see you.
Yeah, it may be. It may seem safer it's not safe for everyone involved, though. Unfortunately, there has to be everybody has to obey the rules of the road and the same rules. And the problem is now you're making different rules for a bicyclist than you are for a car. And like, for instance, if you're coming out, making a right turn and a bicyclist coming down the wrong side of the street it's just, there's too many, situations where that becomes dangerous. So, it's not the law. That's against the law.
No, I understand that. Yeah. But I still feel, I felt an awful lot safer doing that. Understood. Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Diane. It's a good conversation, and we appreciate it.
Certainly. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Have a good one. And from Diane, let's go to Dan. Hi, Dan.
Yeah. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning. How are you?
And Matt. Yeah, good. It's been a while. I have been out of state and traveling, and I just want to say that I give a shout out to the Highway Patrol. I've always had good relations with the Highway Patrol, and they always have every interaction through my whole life with the Highway Patrol has been positive.
Mm-hmm. You mean even when they stop you for a violation?
Yeah, usually, they'll tell you you're doing something wrong, and they'll give you advice and say, hey, here's how you do it, I've like I say, I'll see them at the county fair, and I'll walk up to their booth and tell them, hey, I feel secure when I see them on the highway.
We love our Highway Patrol guys. We have them on the show a couple times a year, and they're just a wealth of information and teach us a lot. And yes, they have a tough job out there.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Dan. We appreciate your phone call.
All righty. Bye.
Have a good week.
All right.
Yeah. Hats off to our policemen, highway patrolmen, firemen, of course. But you see the highway patrolmen out there, and they've got such a big job for so many different cars and everything. You kind of wonder, how they do it. And, it's a tough job. All right. Well,
I saw the Highway Patrol doing something that I hadn't seen them doing in a while. Coming in here on Thursday, and getting ready for the weekend. I noticed that they were out there on Broad Street, and they were pulling over semis, and they were doing truck checks out there. So I give them some kudos for that too. I think maybe we should do it a little more with cars too.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of unsafe cars out there. But they were out there pulling over the semis and the larger trucks to make sure that they're safe to be on the road.
A lot of states have, when you go in for your smog check every 2 years, you have a safety check on your car, too. And California does not have that.
No, when I came to Vermont, of course, this is many years ago, they had twice a year.
Yeah, twice a year?
Twice a year.
Wow.
Yeah. And they had to put a sticker on the windshield that they had been through the testing of Highway Patrol. A garage, not the Highway Patrol did it, but the garage where they did service did that car check.
We see, of course, inspecting cars, we see a lot of safety issues on cars, really more relating to tires. It used to be that brakes used to wear out a lot quicker. No. Brakes last a long time, and I don't see that many, and people have brake warning systems and things like that. But tires, we see a lot of, we have these wide profile tires in lower cars, and you can't see the tires.
No.
I mean, you got to get down on your hands and knees, and you got to roll around, and then the inside tread, as it wears out, the steel inside, the steel bead starts coming through the tire, and that tire's going to blow any minute. Yeah.
That's usually on the rear tires.
And we see that. I mean, I see a couple a week.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And so people go, oh my God. And then I show it to people. They don't believe me. I say, you need tires. Yeah, well, I'll get them next month. No, I want to show you. I want to show you. I want to show you your tire. And they go, oh my God, will I be able to make it to the tire place?
Yeah, right.
It's like, you don't know till you see it. Mm-hmm. And it is important. And we've started to send pictures to people online. We take a picture with our phone and we email it to someone. And, that is a great way of showing people about their car, because picture paints a story. Well, I think we're going to go to our second break of the day. We're the Motor Mouse, and we love our Pet Peeve Show because people really have a lot to say. So we invite you to call us at 543-8830. We're talking pet peeves today. So what is it out there that you'd like to see people change about their driving? What is it out there that pisses you off about other drivers or things on the road? Call us, 543-8830.
Got a classic commercial going back to 1966 for the GTO again. Apparently, that's the year that the GTO came out. So, yeah, it says right here. Pontiac GTO introduced 1966.
I wonder what GTO stands for.
I know. I used to know that. Gran Turismo.
It's not Gran Torino, right? That's another. No, Gran Turismo, is that what it is?
Something. And then
all right, we're going to find out.
Anyway, so the GTO.
Adults with type 2 diabetes, lowering A1C by up to 1 point. And although it's not a weight loss or blood pressure drug,
Gran Turismo Omologato.
Liters of young tiger.
I guess it's
all nimble, all agile, all wide track. Don't let the bucket seats and sumptuous interior fool you. In the action department, the 66 GTO beefs up to 360 horsepower. It's all nimble, all tiger, all wide track. GTO for 66. See it in captivity at your Pontiac dealer. The Tiger scores again.
When it's time to service your car,
or a warning light is starting to glow,
go see the pros at Absolute Auto
at the corner of Sacramento and Capitolio.
Okay. Having a problem with the brakes or the steering down below?
Or an alignment to adjust the tow?
Computer systems, they do know.
Call 543-8737 to reach Absolute Auto.
Your car's fuel economy was never better than when it was new. But time and miles have robbed your car of its MPG and performance. Service managers recommend BG44K to remove carbon and restore mileage in just one tank of fuel. In fact, dealerships nationwide use BG44K almost 3-to-1 over any other product. To find a shop with BG products, go to bgfindashop.com.
BG. Can you imagine selling your car next week and saying to the buyer, hey, don't worry, because the engine is covered against failure for life. It's called the Lifetime Protection Plan for the Engine from BG Products. Now imagine having this huge benefit free with your next oil service when you remember these two letters, BG. BGMOA is available at over 20,000 shops nationwide. Find yours at bgfindashop.com. That's bgfindashop.com.
BG. Hi, this is Jeff Spevack, Motormouth co-host and owner of Continental Motorworks. What can you expect here at Continental? We will treat you and your car with care and respect and gratitude. We will bend over backwards to earn your trust. You will fully understand what we are doing on your car and know how much it will cost before we do the work. You will always get value, a fair exchange. You work hard for your money. We believe we should work smarter and harder for what you pay us for. Now in our 36th year, we fix it all. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and hybrids.
Call Jeff at Continental Motorworks at 541-1464. Mention this ad and receive 10% off labor.
don't know what I got. Okay, we're back. We're the Motor Mouse, Matt and Jeff. We're here every week to talk with you about your car, and it's been fun. We've been talking with Craig and Sue and James and Carolyn and Diane and Dan, which makes it a super interesting show when you call us. So give us a call at 543-8830. We're talking about pet peeves and a little bit of everything. By the way, that Gran GTO.
Yeah, what does that GTO stand for? Gran
Turismo Homologato.
Okay, now.
Homologato means homologated, which means officially certified for racing.
Okay.
So it's a race.
But who's certifying it?
In the Grand Tour class.
Oh,
I guess the racing people.
Oh, I see.
Anyhow, that's something, once again, we don't know. Hey, I think we're going to talk to Joan in SLO. Hi, Joan.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for calling. We're great.
Well, this isn't really a pet peeve, but this is something that happens to me that I know is against the law.
Sure.
When I'm going to cross South Higuera at Tank Farm to go to the grocery store, and I'm in the pedestrian lane, some cars make a right-hand turn right in front of me onto Tank Farm Road.
So you're walking. You're a pedestrian.
Yeah, I'm a pedestrian. Okay. And even though I'm aware of that can happen, I watch them to make sure I'll be safe.
Yes.
But I do know it's against the law to do that.
Yeah, so as a pedestrian, once again, you've learned that you assume, like on a bicycle, they teach you to say, assume that people do not see you.
Yes, that's what I assume.
And then that's the way you ride. And you have to do that as a pedestrian, unfortunately. And especially at Tank Farm and Higuera.
That's very busy there.
Yeah, and you've got people, once again, people in a hurry, and what they're doing is more important than your life.
Yes, but anyway, I just thought I'd mention it.
Yeah, and
somebody
so
will get the message and not do it.
No, so that's great. So yeah, as a pedestrian, you've got you're in the crosswalk.
Yes.
And you've got the right of way, and you've got to be careful that people see you.
That's right.
Eye contact and
Well, it's not necessarily eye contact. I just watch the car to see if they're moving or if they're going to move or not. You can kind of tell if they're going to move or not.
But it's a shame that, pedestrians are not respected more. So many times on Laurel Lane, you've got the crosswalk, which is a school crosswalk, and it's yellow, and you're supposed to wait till people get out of the crosswalk, and I see people just darting through that at all times. And
well, anyway, I just thought I'd mention it.
It's a really good one, Joan.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, bye-bye.
One of my pedestrian pet peeves too, and it's more against the pedestrian, actually, is when you're in a parking lot, say at a grocery store, and you're backing out of the space, and people just keep walking.
Yeah.
And, it's like, I may not actually see you because I'm between two high-profile vehicles.
Yeah.
And I'm in a lower-profile vehicle.
Pedestrian has a responsibility.
So the pedestrian may have a responsibility to watch and see that car's backup lights are not on.
I'm a big fan of one of the biggest accidents, and you talk to people that drive trucks, they teach you to always back in so you're not backing up, because that's when accidents happen in parking lot.
Backing out. Oh, yeah. So that's the worst thing
because number one, you can't see everything.
No.
And most people can't turn their neck very good either. So I always, if I'm pulling in a parking lot and I'm walking, I try to walk in front of the cars if you have that option, and not right behind cars, because you're asking for it.
Yeah.
You're just asking for it. So once again, I think the pedestrian does have a responsibility to walk defensively, just as the drivers have to drive defensively.
You see, on my car, it's quiet. When you first start out, it's very quiet because the engine doesn't run.
And some cars are electric or hybrid.
And I am thinking about installing a noise.
Well, when your car goes in reverse, doesn't go beep, beep, beep.
No.
Mine does.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Well, mine doesn't. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's a good one. Hey, let's talk to Stephen. Hi, Stephen.
Morning, fellas. How you doing?
We are good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad.
What would you like to talk about?
So my pet peeve, I'm going to assume somebody has already mentioned chilling in the left-hand lane.
No, we haven't heard that today.
Oh, well, let me put this out there. The left-hand lane is for passing, folks.
Okay, we're talking about highway here.
Well, correct.
Yeah, okay. And so, yes, you have to let people pass you, even if your judgment is that they're speeding. You're not the highway patrol. So
indeed.
Somebody wants to pass you, then pull over and let them pass you. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, the people maybe coming from with multi-lane traffic like L.A. Well, they have 4 lanes, or 5 lanes, you know.
Yeah.
And so they're coming into 2-lane. Mm-hmm. And I figured that, I'm driving the speed limit or thereabout, and I should be okay.
Yeah.
And but that doesn't work. That sure doesn't work. It holds up the traffic. It holds up the flow of the traffic.
Yep. Yeah. Once again, I like to see respect on both sides. So if I don't drive that fast. Okay, so I'm mostly driving the speed limit, or a little bit, maybe within 5 miles over it. So if I'm passing someone and I'm in the left lane, I'm getting ready to pull over. It does annoy me if someone's driving faster and they come up and they tailgate me and get right on my butt. I put my turn signal on and I move over, but I want respect from that person also.
Oh yeah.
So there's, so once again, it does go both ways. But
while I've got you, an honorable mention would be giving up right of way.
So give us an example.
Like if you're at a 4-way stop and the guy on your right waves you to go.
Yeah.
No, don't do that. There's rules for a reason.
So explain that farther. I didn't understand it.
Well, at a 4-way stop, if you've got 2 people at the same time, the guy on the right has right of way.
Okay.
If he waves you on, or any other time when somebody gives up their right of way, they're potentially impeding traffic behind them, and the idea is we have these rules for consistency, so we know what to expect from people.
Yeah.
One other reason.
That's a good one. I've never heard that one before.
One other reason for not doing that is there are people out there that are trying to collect insurance money. And they may say, you know what, I didn't give up the right of way.
And then they pull in, And then, it is dangerous when you're at a 4-way stop and there's people waving people. It can be dangerous because the other person didn't see that person wave them. And so, you can have somebody else pull out in front of them too. So there are reasons not to wave someone on. You're right. It can be dangerous on a lot of levels there. That's a good one. I've never heard that one before.
Something you take, for example, 4-way stop, and a shopping center at Las Osos Valley Road. So when it's at 4 places where you have to stop, then there's a certain amount of rotation into that stopping.
Yeah.
In other words, it rotates in a semi or in opposite direction. It's up. What the heck you call that?
Sure. Clockwise?
No, not clockwise.
Yeah.
The other way around.
Counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise.
Yeah.
So that the guy on your right will pass.
You'll have to explain that to us later.
Yeah. The next one. All right. Okay. Edith, let's talk to Edith.
Stephen, thank you very much. We appreciate your phone call.
Thanks for the show, guys.
Good points brought up. Thank you. Let's go from Stephen Slow to Edith and AG. Hi, Edith.
Good morning, guys. I really enjoy your show. What you were talking about is that beep, beep, beep as you back out.
Yeah.
I've never heard it from just a regular car. It's usually been on a pickup or something like that. You mean it comes as a accessory or something?
Well, some cars have it built in. So, in other words, my car is a fully electric car. And so, because it's so quiet, because I don't have an engine that comes on at any point, when I put it in reverse, it goes beep, 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 which I think is a great safety feature.
Well, I think so, too, because I'm going to have some things done to my car, and I could ask to have one of those put in.
I'm not sure that it's that easy to put in. It would have to be, installed. It would be expensive.
Well, that's what I mean, installed.
Yeah.
Installed.
Have you got a backup camera?
No.
Okay. Well, so that's the thing.
It could be installed into that somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's ways to...
I don't have I don't have a camera.
We'll have to find out about that, So we talk about, like we had Drive Customs on the show, and they do backup cameras, and they do digital screens. I wonder if they do reverse beep built into the backup camera.
Yeah, because I think it'd be a good idea, like you're saying, in parking lots
Yep.
I move very, very slowly when I back out.
Well, I mean, what you can...
And if I can, I back in.
Yes.
You could do the beep, beep yourself. Matt, what you do is you just open your window and you go, beep, beep.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
No,
they wouldn't hear that. It's not high enough or loud enough.
That's not what I do. I got a little. I went to the $1 store the other day, and they had a small little trumpet bottle with the compressed air in the bottle.
Oh yeah, the air horn.
Air horn.
Yeah,
I have one of those sitting in.
Well, that's pretty loud though.
No. Yeah, it's a very high.
That would be neater.
So I roll down the window and I go beep beep.
Exactly. Well,
it's your own little reverse warning. Yeah.
And it's not all the old people that do that. There's a lot of young ones that could care less.
Yeah.
Edith, that's a good one. Thank you.
Okay.
We'll find out a little bit more in future shows if somebody installs those for you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for the show. I enjoy it.
We appreciate it too. Thank you.
One thing I'd like to mention really quick, if I can, is like school zones.
Yeah.
Make sure you're paying attention, because I had a little guy run right out in front of me the other day.
Yeah.
And the mom was behind.
Yeah.
And I was doing.
If you're a mom, hold your kid's hand
under the speed limit, and it took a little while for her to catch up to him.
Yeah.
He was only maybe 4,
but
right in front of me.
We've got to learn to get out of our hurry mode, especially when you're in a yellow crosswalk. Remember that there's a lot of schools in session, and once again, one little hurried move can change a couple people's lives. So be careful out there. Hey, we want to thank, it's a fun show always when we do the Pet Peeve Show. Craig and Sue and James and Carolyn and Diane and Dan and Joan and Steve and Edith for making this a really fun, great show. We appreciate it very much. All of you listening out there, we want to thank our sponsors, BG Products. You can look them up at bgfindashop.com, featuring such great products as 44K fuel cleaner and synthetic transmission fluids and gear oils, which really enhance and make your the life of your transmission and your differentials last a lot longer. Absolute Auto. Go see Jason and Charlotte at the corner of Capitolio and Sacramento, featuring excellent locally owned automotive service and repair, alignments on cars and trucks, and just a great family atmosphere at Absolute Auto. Continental Motor Works, we are open 7:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, and you can reach us at 541-1464. And Bike Slow County, go on their website and see all the different things Bike Slow County is doing to enhance local transportation. Hey, it's a beautiful day out there. Enjoy it. Write your motor mouth questions down for next week, because Matt and Jeff will be back next Saturday morning.